Good Saturday to you. I'm meteorologist Lindsay Monroe, and we're talking all about the potential of a line of strong to severe storms that's set to impact most of the state of Indiana as we get into Sunday. Now, we'll break down what you need to know, then we'll go more in depth on these impacts and the primary threats. The timeline is lining up mainly after about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. A line of storms will come together after initially isolated storms over in central Indiana develop, and then that line will move through central Indiana, posing that severe risk through the evening, and eventually that threat looks to come to an end during the early morning hours around 1 o'clock in the morning come Monday. Primary, more widespread threat across the area will be damaging wind gusts. But with the type of setup we've got for tomorrow, the potential of tornadoes is certainly I should say, across the southern extent of the state will be a little elevated. And then for most of the area, large hail, 1 to 2 inch diameter hailstones possible. Also along with this heavy rain that could lead to localized flooding. So as we're getting into our Sunday, if you have outdoor plans scheduled, I know we've had a very warm stretch of weather. Yesterday we hit 81. We're going to be in the 70s today. We'll be in the 70s again on Sunday afternoon, but want you to be prepared for this if you have outdoor activities planned. Know where to go, have a safety plan, something to discuss ahead of time, and make sure you have several ways to receive warnings should we see this all play out as it is anticipated. As far as what's going on out there right now, we've got a relatively quiet Saturday as this low pressure system stays at bay to our north. We've had scattered rain in the area so far, and this is going to act as a conveyor belt of moisture with a surge of moisture coming in out of the Gulf. That is going to be played into central Indiana with that southwest wind component today. So we are not anticipating this being severe, but the potential is there. We'll see some scattered rain through the morning and then into the evening as it kind of redevelops. A lot of folks coming downtown for the IHSAA boys basketball state finals. This is going to be basically ongoing from the early morning until late tonight at Gamebridge Fieldhouse. Scattered rain will be around. I do see some dry hours around the metro as we get into the afternoon. That is as temperatures elevate into the mid 70s, and then another round of some more organized rain possible through the duration of this evening. So I wanted to walk you through the timeline for this Saturday's rain potential. Now, lots of dry hours through the course of the afternoon, pausing here at 6 o'clock in the evening. Scattered rain will redevelop, especially across the northwestern tier of the state, and then on into the evening tonight, scattered rain possible before kind of dwindling as we get into the early morning hours on Sunday. Notice your temperature here. We're going to hold steady even with the rain. Temperatures in the 60s as we sit on the warm side of the system. So Indy 11 kicking off their full schedule starting tonight at 7 p.m. There will be some rain in the area, but it will be a mild evening. Most of us hold steady in the 60s as we go through the evening tonight. All right, let's get into tomorrow. We're going to start off with some dry time, some isolated showers initially to get the day started. That risk of stormy weather starts to elevate as we get into the afternoon. Still looking like while we sit on the warm side of that cold front, we will briefly get back into the mid 70s for highs Sunday afternoon, but then it's where that line sets up. That's going to bring in that highest severe potential. And it's not just us. This is a very large area that the Storm Prediction Center is watching as this cold front is set to impact all the way from Chicago down to the Gulf. This orange highlight from Indiana down to the Mid-South, that is a level 3 of 5 from the Storm Prediction Center for the potential that we could see numerous strong to severe storms along this system. We can break down that threat index a little farther based on the parameters we've got. Start with the potential of some rotating storms and that tornado threat. This was an upgrade for this southern half of the state. So this yellow zone, including Bloomington, Columbus, down to the Ohio River. This does extend farther south as well. That's going to be that highest risk zone for the potential of tornadoes and the potential embedded within this that we could see a few stronger tornadoes should they develop along that line. EF2 plus will be possible again. That's going to be mainly southern parts of the state and south. The rest of the state could see some rotating storms as well. This will be ongoing here as we get into the afternoon and evening. And then eventually, as we look ahead Sunday, we also have that widespread threat that we could see some damaging wind gusts. And this is going to be area wide. Right now, we are forecasting the potential of 70+ mile per hour gusts that will initiate along the leading edge of that line. Now, a little farther back to the west, we have a significant hail threat as well. So really you can see how this is going to play out. Basically all modes of severe weather are going to be possible with this, but we're watching the 2-inch diameter hail threat to be highest mainly across southern portions of Illinois into southern Indiana. That's as this line is initially getting its act together and we start to see those individual storm cells. They tend to have that highest threat of severe weather because they've got stronger updrafts. Once those individual storm cells kind of come together along a line of storms, that hail threat will start to diminish, but then the damaging wind threat will start to increase. So it really depends on where these storms initiate and at what point do they impact our area. Let's walk you through the timeline for all of this on Sunday. We'll pick it up at 1 o'clock in the morning, roll through about 8 a.m. Sunday. This is going to be a pretty quiet start to the day. Temperatures will start to elevate again back into the 70s. We'll have some instability in the atmosphere, which could potentially prompt an initial round of some scattered storms. This is not going to be the main event, but as we get into Sunday afternoon, that threat will be there. Now we look back to our west. These are those individual storm cells I was talking about. So mainly after about 3 o'clock, we'll start to see on radar that cold front prompting these storms. We'll advance a little farther into the future. This is by 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And keep in mind, this is just one weather model's interpretation of this timeline. It's actually sped up quite a bit from previous models that we were watching yesterday. So this is kind of the newest information on the timeline of this, moving into the western tier of the state between 5 p.m. and I believe this is going to track into the metro by about 7. So we'll give it that general time frame. Weather aware 3 p.m. and beyond. It does look like it will impact the metro primarily between about 5 and 7 o'clock. But notice here, the northern extent of this is going to be moving a little quicker. So places like the Indianapolis metro up the 69 corridor is going to be impacted by this first. That will then move into east central Indiana. This is through 7, 8 o'clock in the evening, but notice the southern extent, so basically the line of storms from I-70 south, it's going to drag a little later. So that keeps that chance of severe weather going in southern Indiana a little longer. Let's fast forward another step into the future. This is at 9 o'clock in the evening. Leading edge now making its way into Greensburg, Seymour, Bedford, down to the Ohio River. That's through 9 o'clock. That's where we could again see those rotating storms setting up on the southern extent of that line. Severe threat will be ongoing until we can get that to clear out of the state. Looks like that happens by about 1 o'clock in the morning Monday. Severe threat will come to an end. Cold front passes through, and then we'll see a significant drop in temperatures. Could see a lingering rain shower during the first part of the day on Monday. It's mainly just going to be cloudy and a lot cooler as we get you into Monday afternoon. That front continues to push off to the east. We will likely see temperatures Monday holding steady in the low to mid 40s. Now we get into Tuesday. This will start to bring temperatures back to more seasonal levels. We're back to 52. Tuesday looks like a quiet day. Once again, we're watching another weather system on Wednesday. It's going to bring another warm front in. We're going to have another above average day. Forecasting right now a high on Wednesday near 70. But of course, we got to get back to average. So once again, we are watching another round of some stronger storms. And this is a look well into the future. We're already looking at that potential of some stronger storms on Wednesday as this secondary cold front is set to impact the state. And as far as the timeline of all of this, looks like it's going to bring in that more widespread shower and storm chance. This is 7 a.m. on Wednesday. That line of storms sets up Wednesday evening. This is about 9:30. That's when that severe risk will start to ramp up. So once again, another late afternoon evening event. That cold front will then slide through, bringing that severe threat east of us, and temperatures will once again fall a bit as we get into Thursday. So this is that very typical springtime pattern where we've got a lot of ups and downs with our temperatures and the fact that we could see some embedded severe threats within those temperature swings. 75 today. Tomorrow is that weather impact alert day. We will be constantly updating all of our digital platforms as well as keeping you updated on air with all of our newscasts. 74 in the afternoon. Severe threat again 3 p.m. to about 1 o'clock in the morning early Monday. 45 Monday. And then that secondary chance of some strong storms moves in on Wednesday.